there in
tractor.
person. Here you go. One of the greatest moments of Will and Grace history right there. My man still got it.
Please welcome to the show our friend Eric McCormack is here. That scene was, we got the music
That
going
was
now.
great.
There we
Kind of
go.
make it so cool to roll with all that, man. You know what I was thinking is that Will and Grace was one of the first shows to get a reboot, right? It kind of led the reboot charge.
I think Gilmore Girls came first, but other than that, yeah, we were the first sort of networky show to recreate what we'd done.
I can't remember the year that the show premiered, but I just remember loving it from episode 1. That was must-see TV. When did you guys know it was something special?
I mean, we knew that night. I mean, reading that script originally, we could tell that it was a thing. But it was probably by the end of that first season, we were feeling good. But it was the reruns when they used to do reruns.
Yeah.
It was the summer reruns that the show took off.
Yeah. We were just talking off camera right now about Halloween, because I know your neighborhood gets nuts, but I heard you took it next level this past year, right?
We always do. My wife is a huge Halloween person. And yes, so she created...
You did Zoltar?
So she created everything you see, except that's me in the box, and I'm moving, and I was telling kids fortunes.
Oh, wow.
And taking their money. They had to pay me money. So we made...
Wait, how long were you
hundreds
in?
of dollars.
Where did one get the box?
My wife made it. She made everything you saw. She made
a set designer?
She
or?
carpenter. No, she's a carpenter. But we had the one thing we had for the last couple of years is an actual Zoltan or Zoltar, and I just took his place this year, and she made me up. I mean, the
How
whole thing.
many hours were you in the box?
3.5 hours.
Wow, commitment. I like it.
Too. My friend came by and you talked to her little son for like 20. Like you were
is that
so
right?
gracious to everybody
It's
that
so
came by.
fun. Well,
That's so
hopefully
cool.
I can do it again this year.
I also didn't realize that you've been buddies with Elton John and going to his Oscars party for the last 20 years. How
Hosting
did that
the
come
Oscar
about?
party.
Well, I mean, that's one of the great stories of my youth is that David Furnish, who is Elton John's husband, and I went to high school together. We did Godspell and Pippin and The Fantastics. So I've known him since we were 14.
What high school was that?
That was Sir John A. Macdonald in Toronto.
Oh, look at that.
Yes, and we had a great theater teacher, and so we stayed close-ish, and then we kind of parted for. We didn't see him because he was in London, and I said, "How's David doing in London?" to a friend of ours, and they said, "He's dating Elton John." So
wow.
Yeah, so he started with Elton around the same time I started dating my wife. So we've kind of had this sort of long.
Funny.
How
I
many-
just realized you're Canadian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
We hear Elton gives cheeky gifts. Like, what kind of gifts does Elton give? I feel like he gives really fun gifts.
Well, I mean, the most amazing thing was the day my son was born 20 years ago. Elton and David sent a big red wagon, like a classic sort of red wagon with a bunch of stuff in the back. It was a big stuffed animal and stuff. It was
And
very
for his
great.
party, you've hosted it for like how many years?
We've always been there. We've always been invited because it's about the AIDS Foundation, and so we're happy to be ambassadors for the Elton John AIDS Foundation whenever we can. I've been a host 2 or 3 times over the years. This one was really fun. Janet and I were with Heidi Klum and her husband, and Heidi was, as she does, was wearing that.
Oh, wow. Subtle.
So, and she and I were going to I get up several times in the course of the evening during the Oscar ceremony, and sort of during the commercials, I implore people to give more money to the AIDS Foundation. And I was getting up with Heidi to speak, and just before we got to the teleprompters, I said, "Are you game for anything?" And she said, "Yes, whatever you want." So I got up to the mic and I went, Big Bird.
That's great. That's great.
I think it's wonderful that you support the AIDS Foundation.
It's good.
And she went into some crazy, great Big Bird voice, and she's like, "Oh, nice!" It was awesome.
For improv, then.
That's
On point.
cool.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
so let's talk about your new role, because this is a very
Yes.
different role for you. Slasher Ripper.
Slasher Ripper. It is. So this is the 5th season of a show called Slasher, and Ripper is the name of the season. This one is set, because they're all different. This season is set at the turn of the century, Victorian Toronto, and I run the town. I am that guy, and he's horrible, and he's mean, and he's vicious. It was so much fun.
But I love the costumes, and we have a clip. Take a look.
You're the widow.
Widow. I've been with you most of the times people have been killed.
Except when you weren't. Plenty of time to get up to no good.
Mr. Garvey, you know it wasn't me.
Well, that just leaves the latter option. You're a coward, and you're doing a runner. And Eddie, it's the second one that really pisses me off.
Ooh, you're mean, but you're dapper. Did you lotion a lot?
Yes.
Goatee's working right there too. That's nice.
There was a whole thing, and somebody said, "Did you make it extra gray?" And I went, "No."
I love your salt and pepper. You leave this just like it is. What about Broadway? What's going on there?
Well, this is really exciting. Jason Alexander, my old friend, calls me up, and we had been talking about another show possibly down the road. He called me 2 months ago and said, "This is really short notice, but Broadway in June." And I went, "Yes." So this is a new play. It's been done in a couple of places across America, but never on Broadway. It's called The Cottage. It is a straight play, and it is a crazy comedy, kind of a Noel Coward-esque English farce that it's 6 characters. I think it's going to be hilarious. We're going to be the Helen Hayes Theater from July through the end of October.
Oh, what a great way to spend the summer.
You'll be there through October. How wonderful.
Yes.
What does it mean to you to get back to that?
That's where I started. I was 10 years in the theater in Canada before I auditioned for a television show ever. So
you'll be back there with your buddy Sean Hayes on Broadway.
Yeah, not only that, we'll be steps away. We're both on 44th Street.
That's so cool.
He's doing a show called Goodnight Oscar. That's about to open, and it's going to be huge. And yeah, I think we can walk to work together.
That's awesome.
Please post a picture of you guys waltzing to work at theater. That's great.
Particularly if we're waltzing.
If you're waltzing, is what I was going with.
Congratulations.
Here we go. Great to see you, as always. Check out Slasher Ripper streaming right now on Shudder and AMC+.
All right, coming up, John Leguizamo's got a brand new travel series where he's highlighting the best of Latin culture. We're going to be talking to him coming up next.
And your podcast.